And we are live. Thank you guys, everyone, so much for coming. These are always some of the most exciting things that we get to do as Libertarians, is get together, drink adult beverages, and listen to Larry Sharpe. It's one of my favorite things to do since I joined the party, I know that. We're going to get right, we're going to get started right away with some of our speeches. Coming up first, we have Stephanie Jackson, who the Onondaga County Libertarian Party did endorse this year, running for state assembly in the 128th District. She is a lifelong New York State resident, having a diverse life story. She truly is able to identify with life's highs and lows. She is someone who truly cares and engages with the community to empower the neighborhood and the youth. Being a small business owner, vice president of the Mattydale Vikings, running for office to newly homeschooling her 3 youngest children, New York State has kept Stephanie on her toes in these trying times. But there's a message she's been speaking on well before COVID-19. Through the work she has done in her own community, she's connected with others that put her in the position to get involved with politics. In Stephanie's own words, she is not a politician. Jackson, for the people, is what Stephanie's campaign is all about. Stephanie is all over the New York State bills and assembly and has been trying to alert people to the Democratic power and global agenda since last year. Over that time, that connected Stephanie with other people who are looking for answers, looking for representation. As New York State residents watch their constitutional rights dwindle, the coronavirus was something Stephanie was able to predict to occur. While not running as a Libertarian in this race, but representing 4 Libertarians in the 128th District, Stephanie looks to bring your voices to Albany, to fight for all of your rights all of the time. And I will tell you, we were very selective this year in who the party decided to cross-endorse, and Stephanie was lucky enough to get our nomination. Everyone, Stephanie Jackson.
Thank you, guys. Can you hear me okay? Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I mean, I would come anyways for Larry. One of the things that I filled out when I did the questionnaire was that if he was running for president, that I was so I'm hoping that you're going to take on Cuomo again in 2024. And I'm not a politician. I have been very active in politics and local politics in my community, trying to, really care about what I'm leaving behind. And through that, I became very alert to a lot of the things that are happening here in New York State. And I knew that it would be a really big race to run against Pamela Hunter, who is the Democratic chair here in Onondaga County. She would have ran unopposed again. So I said, it matters if I'm going to live in this state. So I really rolled up my sleeves and just ended up in this position. And I felt that I came down to a personal choice of running for office or running out of New York State. And coming from my background, my grandparents escaping socialism, communism at the hands of Joseph Stalin, it's speaking loud and clear to me what is happening here with the communist agenda. And I'm dead against it. I'm against our rights being taken from us for our gun rights, from legalizing marijuana, not just because I knew I had to run as a Republican in order to probably beat Pamela Hunter in this position. However, since I've gotten more deeply involved in politics, I've met and I've gotten the support of mostly Libertarians, because I do speak about some of the things Republicans don't want me to speak about. So I found out in New York State, many Republicans are what they call rhinos, and that's Republican in name only, and they go right along with the Democratic agenda. So I probably identify more as a Libertarian these days, and I appreciate your guys' support very much in this election, because I'm running it really as Jackson for the people. I care about how these things affect you. I want to hear how they affect you, and it matters. It matters to me. I really care about what we have here. That's our home, our state, our lives, and it matters to me. So I hope that this election will vote for me on the Libertarian line. I appreciate you guys coming out tonight.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. So quickly, before I introduce our next speaker, some of you know I am currently the vice chair of the Onondaga County Libertarian Party. I'm the vice chair of the state Libertarian Party, but work is sending me away to South Dakota, so I'll be vacating those positions. So I do want to take this time, so this is probably the last event I'm going to do as a party officer, to speak a little bit about the man who really brought me to the party, and just say a few words before I bring him up. So the next man I'm about to introduce is someone who's very important to me and my growth within the party. I was a young poli-sci major in 2018, just looking to get my fieldwork hours in so that I could complete my degree. I knew it was a governor election year, but I just couldn't stand sacrificing my principles to work with one of the other candidates who I just didn't believe in, just so I could check a box for my school. Then I saw a Facebook ad for an event in Oswego. It was then that I learned that there was a Libertarian in the race. I went to see Larry speak at the coffee shop in Oswego, and the course of the next 2 years of my life changed forever. I immediately reached out to the campaign looking to volunteer. My first job in the Libertarian Party was literally to deliver yard signs for Larry Sharpe across 6 counties. Somebody would place the order on the website, my Google Sheet would update, I'd grab a sign from my stash and hit the road. I later told the state field director that I wanted to do more. I knew I could give more to the campaign than just my gas money. It was then that I was appointed as the regional director for Central New York. One of my favorite experiences or things that I've done with the party. Over the next few months, I built a team with someone who was dedicated and selfless volunteers I've ever worked with. Some of them are here tonight. It is thanks to their dedication that the volunteers of Central New York outperformed the other regions by over 300% in petitioning and canvassing. And that's all thanks to a lot of the people in this room. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. Even after the election, Larry pushed me to get more involved in the party. When the new ISC was formed, Larry reached out and asked me to serve on the new committee. Of course, I couldn't say no. Fast forward another year, and I was recently elected vice chair of the same committee. I don't say this to brag about myself, although I've been known to happen a million times. I say this because the man has the ability to motivate people to do things that they probably wouldn't do on their own, that they wouldn't feel comfortable with in the past. He motivates them to go outside their comfort zone. I've never even run for student council, let alone political party leadership. It's not just me, though. My smoking hot wife, who was here a minute ago, she's taking care of the kids, used to hate when I tried to talk politics. Literally not less interested. I took her to see Larry speak in Auburn, New York. Next thing you know, she's 7 months pregnant, walking around Syracuse, knocking doors with us, passing Larry's literature. As I get ready to leave the state and the party, I've been so honored to serve both at the county and the state level. I'm humbled and honored to introduce the man that started me on this amazing journey that has been the last 2 years of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Sharpe.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming. Yes, I'm back. You're saying, are you tired of me yet? I hope not. We have a whole lot of work to do. The war is not over. We have lots of battles to fight. And I know sometimes we lose those battles. I know we do. But I want us to remember something. It doesn't matter if we lose a battle. It matters if we lose the war. And the war isn't over. So we have more to do, more battles to fight, and more change to actually make in this state. You all see it. The state's in trouble. It was in trouble 2 years ago, 3 years ago when I was running. It was in trouble then. And everything I talked about, well, it's kind of come to pass. Everything I was warning us about, well, it's kind of come to pass. And I knew it would, because it had to. There was no way it couldn't. We were at an unsustainable trajectory, and we still are. Here is the bad news about New York. If we don't turn this around, this state is going to declare bankruptcy in 2023 or 2024. I'm not joking when I say that. That's going to happen. There's no way around it. We are over $500 billion in debt now, and we have an over $60 billion deficit. The MTA in New York City alone needs $12 billion. Just the MTA in New York City alone needs $12 billion. $12 billion with a B. And if all of a sudden, in his wisdom, our president, whether that's President Trump or President Biden, decides, you know what, let me give New York State $60 billion. Awesome. What about next year? Yeah, this is all of a sudden get the year after that. Well, the year after that. Oh my God. What happens then? Our budget keeps going up, yet our people keep leaving. Think about that. The budget goes up and people leave. What does that mean? Higher tax burden. That's regular math, not even Common Core. That's regular math that all of a sudden you have to understand we're in trouble. How are we going to fix that? Well, let me ask you, what is the current, in New York State, what is the current Democratic plan? Yeah, thank you, nothing. What's the current Republican plan? Yeah, same. So that's exactly the plans right now. None. The plan is, let's hope that the federal government bails us out for the next 5 years straight. Imagine the federal government bailing us out for $60-some-odd billion. We are one of 50 states. They're going to bail all of them out for the next 5 years? No. So I want to ask you, who has an answer? Who has an answer? Who talks about solutions? It's only our party. Only our movement, only our party, only our people talk about actual solutions. What can we do to fix, repair, adjust, change, make things right? But if instead you listen to your left and right paradigm, every single thing, everything is a battle, is a war, is a I gotta get the other. Every single time you see a left or a right, Democrat or Republican, anytime you see them come up with any sort of platform, the platform is always the same thing. I'm not him. I'm not her. That's my platform. I'm not the other, therefore I'm good. But we just heard from Stephanie. Stephanie is the example that I want us all to think about. For those of you who are watching and not in New York State, we have in New York State fusion voting. What that means is a candidate can run on more than one line. That can actually happen. For some of you outside New York State, you go, what? Yes, you can actually run as a Libertarian and a Republican, a Libertarian and a Democrat, a Libertarian and a Conservative, or 2 or 3 or 4 of them if you want to. Good. Let me ask you, do people usually run Republican and Democrat? No. But do they run Republican and Libertarian? Yes. Do they usually run Democrat and Libertarian? Yes, that happens. For those of you who watched my campaign when I ran, I would very often be in the room and I would say, how many people either now or in the last 2 years were registered Democrats? And hands would go up. How many now in the last 2 years registered Republicans? Hands would go up. How many now or last 2 years are registered but neither? Hands would go up. No other party can do that. You go to a Republican event, or Republicans. Democrat event, all Democrats. Our event, a mix. The past 30 years, at least, if not 50 years, we've been telling each other that the answer is crush the other. That's been our answer. If our answer is crush the other, and you've been taught that for 20 years, if you're a lifelong Democrat, do you want to vote Republican ever? No. If you're a lifelong Republican, do you want to vote Democrat ever? No. But you'll vote Libertarian. Yeah, you will. We are the only party that can bring this country, this county, this state together. Only we can. Because we're the ones who say you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be, just don't force your views on others. We say that, no one else does. We're the ones who don't say, if someone says, what are we going to do? I'm so confused, Larry. How are we going to help people when it comes to healthcare? As we do here. We got to make it better. We got to make more people have it. It's got to be better. That's policy. That's it. We got to care about our healthcare workers and frontline people. We got to care. I could be a Republican or Democrat saying that. It's the same. There's only one distinct nuance you'll see between the two. Republicans will say, we have to invest. Democrats will say, we have to fund. They both mean more taxing. It's just a nicer word for either one, depending on what you do. If you lean left, investing sounds bad, funding sounds nice. If you lean right, investing sounds nice, funding sounds bad. They're the same. Libertarians say, let me give you an answer. Let me solve that problem. Let me show you how to get there. The only people who do that. Some of you may be thinking, yeah, I get it, Larry. I do. But how can I possibly libertarian? I have to support Trump, or I have to support Biden, or I can't let Biden win, or I can't let Trump win. Let me give you a little bit of news for you. You live in New York State like I do. You don't get to choose who's the president. Sorry, you have no say in the presidential election. Sorry, you have none. This state's electoral votes will go to Biden, period. That's gonna happen. Whether if you like Biden, good for you. If you don't like Biden, I'm sorry. But that's gonna happen no matter what. You live in Oklahoma, you're going to Trump. If you live in Oklahoma and you like Trump, good for you. Live in Oklahoma, you like Biden, I'm sorry. But either way, that's happening, no matter what. And if you get that at your core, that sadly, because how has this been worked, you have no say in who the president's going to be, why in the world would you vote for Trump or Biden? It's a serious question. Why would you vote for Trump or Biden? You are literally taking your vote and throwing it in the garbage. You're doing it. It has no impact whatsoever. But there's something else you could do. You could vote for the future. Your future. Our future. You can do that. Some of you are leaving. Sadly, Stephen Lee, losing you, sorry. Some of you are leaving, I know. But many of you are not. You're not leaving. So why would you keep the same old thing, the same old way? Why would you decide to vote for the future? And why would it matter? We do well in this state. Again, New York State is the battleground state. People will tell you, oh, it's Pennsylvania or it's Florida. No, it isn't. That's a battleground state to see, which left or right person will control you. But for actual state versus the individual, freedom and the ability to make change, the battleground states are California and New York. That's the battleground states. What happens there eventually goes to the rest of the country. Those are the battleground states. California doesn't have any. Sorry, California. New York does. That's how that works. If we do well in this state and we show that we matter, that we have impact, it will change the conversation for years to come. But something else. Many of you watching, some of you out there, you're going to stay Democrat or Republican. Not all of you are going to become Libertarians. I would like you all to become Libertarians. Please all become Libertarians. But you don't have to. I get it. Some of you aren't. You're going to stay Democrat. You're going to stay Republican. I get it. But I'll ask you a serious question. Particularly if you live in a very deep blue or very deep red state. Are you happy with your party? Almost always the answer is no. You have a series of complaints. I've been voting for these guys for all this time. I voted for her. She said and didn't. I voted for him. He said and didn't. I have an idea. Have a strong Libertarian party. Why? Because they will then have to do what they say. They will then have to service you because there's another option besides them or the evil one. You will get better Republicans and better Democrats if you support the Libertarian Party today. You will get better Republicans and better Democrats. They will have no choice or they will lose. So even if you stay Democrat, stay Republican. Voting gold this year is still what matters. It helps you in the long run. Because you and I both know this. Your party, if you're a Democrat or Republican, takes your vote for granted. All they care about is, I'm not the other. You got to be scared. Vote for me and shut up. Hold your nose and vote for me. No. Vote gold. Show them it matters. Show them you care. But I'll go one step further. I'm sorry. I'm still not done. So you like that saying when I say that. So I'll say that instead. I'm still not done. In any case, I also was about something else. November, end of November, beginning of December, whenever we figure out who's won the election, whether Trump wins or loses, either way, there are going to be tens of millions of Americans who are going to be unhappy. Regardless of who wins, tens of millions of Americans who are going to be unhappy. And when they're unhappy, what are they going to do? They're either going to check out, or there'll be sporadic violence, or both. All the wrong answer. You know what the right answer is? Come to us. Here we are. We're ready for you. Come on in. You want real change? You want something? You're tired of being led astray? You're tired of being lied to? You're tired of being fear-mongered to? Here we are. We're here. And the best part about it is we're small, which means you actually have some power. You actually have some control. Steven said he walked in cold and was running stuff in 6 months. Isn't that awesome? He was running the whole show in 6 months. I love it. That can happen in our party. You can actually move and get stuff done. But more importantly, you can get stuff done locally. You can get stuff done in the county that you care about, the city that you care about, the state that you care about. You can do that here. Voting gold matters. It doesn't matter next year or the year after, it does. But it matters this year too. This year it matters. So when you're at your ballot, whether you're mailing in or going there or whatever else that is, whatever it is, look for that Libertarian candidate. Look for gold. And if you love your local guy or gal, maybe you do, I don't know, I guess there's a couple good ones. I'm teasing. Right? If you love your local guy or gal, go ahead, vote for that local Democrat. I got it. But it doesn't mean you have to vote red or blue down the line. In fact, that's the worst thing you can do. When you vote just straight red or blue down the line, you are literally rewarding bad behavior, and then you say, I wonder why they keep screwing me over. Because you keep saying, thank you, sir, may I have another? That's the reason. You keep saying, thank you, sir, may I have another? And they go, absolutely you may. Wham! Yet again. So stop it. Stop doing that and think and vote gold when you can vote this year. This year. But Larry, this is the most important election of our lifetime. I've never heard that before. But guess what? This time they're right. And it's too important to not vote gold. It is too important to not vote gold this year. Have to, if you want change. If you don't, if you vote straight red or straight blue and you're unhappy next year, it's your fault. Let me say that again and be clear for you people watching. If you vote straight red or straight blue and you're unhappy next year and you wonder why, look in the mirror. That is the reason. Look in the mirror. Your fault for playing the same game and rewarding bad behavior. I won't reward bad behavior. I won't do that. I will look on my ballot for Libertarians. I will vote gold. I hope you will too. Thank you. I am happy to take any questions or comments from the audience if there are any. Any questions or comments? Awesome. I'll give it back to Steve. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right.